why am I doing this? How much did all of my vintage Star Wars playsets cost me? I haven't done an official tally yet. So in this video, that's exactly what I'm gonna do. If you're wondering what these are worth these days and how much it costs to get them all, we are gonna find out. So let's go. Welcome back to the channel. And if you're wondering where I am, this isn't my collection room. For those of you with very keen eyes, I'm actually stranded in a town called Barstow. For those of you who know, there was a truck full of lithium batteries. Unfortunately, it turned over. The driver is okay, but the lithium batteries, they caught on fire, shutting down the freeway. And hopefully I can leave in the morning. And I still have to go to Las Vegas. So that means I can't make it back to Comic-Con. And that does suck. And I was supposed to hang out with a lot of people over there. I look forward to Comic-Con every year. Unfortunately, this year can't happen, but the show must go on, right? And I'm glad that everybody is safe and okay. So if you were on my last journey, I went on a quest to collect all the vintage Star Wars action figures made from 1977 to 1985. And I did it. It took me about 2 years to complete. And at the end of that run, I tallied up all the numbers and what it actually cost me. And if you want to go back and watch that video to find out what that total score was, because you might need that total later on in the video, there's a link in the description to watch that. And it was a pretty big number, at least for me. And if you're collecting these or want to collect these, it's going to let you know how much exactly, at least in today's time, these playsets cost. So if you count the playsets that were made by Kenner, then there are 16 playsets that you need to complete your run, or what I call the essential Star Wars Kenner playsets. And I'm not including variants such as box variants. Let's take the Turret and Probot playset. On the box, it says Turret and Probot with the ampersand, and on the variant, the print says Turret / playset. So I'm not doing all the variants. However, I did get 2 playsets that I'm gonna do sub-tallies on, and I will let you know what those are later on in the video. And one of them is a Palaty playset, and I bet you know which one that is. The Death Star playset. So I'm gonna include that in my price, but then I'm gonna let you know the cost without that as well, because that's not officially a Kenner playset. Why am I doing this? And I'm not including the Palaty Droid Factory, the Palaty Cantina, or the Palaty Land of the Jawas playsets. I would love to have them someday, and I will collect them, but just not for this run, because these are all the US Kenner based, with the exception of the Palaty Death Star. But this episode is gonna be a good price guide for you, because you're gonna see the condition that I got these for. And I'm also gonna say where I bought these from, and not just the price. So you can get the full picture of these and how I hunted for them. In case you wanna compare your own pieces and prices, it's gonna help you, especially if you're planning your own run. And for this video, I'll be referencing my collector sheet. And I made this and I have used it for all 2 runs that I've done. And if you're on my Patreon and on my top tiers, then you get this for free. And anytime I make updates or add new sheets, you also get those for free. And they're available for download on my website. So go to the links in my description and you can get yours. And for those of you who want to make your own and you have the free time, I did a Google Slides tutorial that takes you step by step on how to do exactly what I did. And the tutorial for that is also in the description of this video. So let's get started, and we're gonna go by release date, starting with the Kenner Death Star Space Station, released in 1978. And I went all the way to LA for this one, and I visited the Frank & Sons Collectible Show. It's the biggest toy collectible mart I have ever been to, and I love going there because of all the variety of things that you're gonna see and the people that go there. I wanted to talk to other collectors more than I wanted a toy hunt. If you haven't been there, you gotta go. It's so much fun there. I found my Death Star Space Station in a very lovely box. It came complete with the instructions, but it had 2 broken elements on it. One was a column, which a viewer and now buddy, Gary M, sent me a replacement for that. And the little latch mechanism on the laser cannon was also broken. But a viewer and buddy named Phil J was kind enough to send me the replacement, and that did the perfect trick. And I also had to buy a Star Wars mini catalog for this separately. So altogether, that price came out to $225. So now you kind of get how this is gonna work. The Cantina Adventure set was released in 1978, and this was one of the playsets that I was really looking forward to on this run. I was gonna try and get one complete and with the blue snaggletooth in a baggie, but prices were so high. So instead, I got one in unused shape, at least in the cardboard backdrop. And I had to buy all those little white figure pegs separately. And I also had to buy the Star Wars mini catalog separately, but it did come with the original cardboard insert, the ones that the little white mailer boxes would have come in, but sadly it did not come with those white mailer boxes. And although it did come with the 4 complete figures, they were not in baggies, and I got the red snaggletooth and not the blue snaggletooth. I also had trouble finding this toy in the wild, and I did not find this in decent shape at a toy store, toy conventions, or on Facebook groups. I had to go to eBay to find it, and I paid a total of $618.31. And all my prices on these, they include tax, shipping fees, and any other fees from eBay that I might have incurred. The Palaty Death Star was released in 1978 in the UK, Canada, and Australia, but not in the USA. And I got one in very nice, complete U-shape. And here's a correction. In the video that I did for the Palaty Death Star, I said that the plastic shield on the top of the turret gun, I said that that came yellow. It actually came clear. The one I have has been aged, and it aged into yellow. So that was a mistake. See, I let you know when I'm wrong. I'm a Padawan, I'm wrong all the time. But I always make mistakes, and I'm always gonna correct my mistakes, and there's one. I got this on a Facebook group called Rogue 5 Toys, and I paid $1,750, but the acrylic case came included. And if you want to know where I get my acrylic cases from, I get them from a company called Ian's Display Accessories. I'm not sponsored by them. I'm not an affiliate. They don't pay me to say anything. They don't give me any free product. I just believe in them, and the product that I use, it's very, very good. So I'm not going to include those prices in them, but you can go and look them up. And as I go through this list, you can check out the prices and see how much I would have paid for them. And just with those 3 play sets, we are already over $2,500. Wow. In 1979, the Land of the Jawas action playset was released. This would have been the first playset to use this type of base design. And you're gonna see what I mean if you don't know about these toys. You're gonna see what I mean later on when we introduce the other playsets that use this base, as many of them reuse this design. The playset that I got came in used condition, but very nice shape, complete with all the paperwork. And I got this in a private deal with a collector named Gary M. And I got this for $237.50. The Creature Cantina playset was released in 1979. And this one, to be honest, it might be one that I want to try and collect all over again. And here's why. I did get this at the Frank & Sons collectible show in LA, but I may have acted too hastily, and I didn't get this one in the nicest of conditions that I probably should have been more patient, because I know I could have gotten a better one. The box I got was in okay condition. The playset that I got was complete, but the door was missing the elastic and the sticker was torn off on the bar. Even though my buddy Josh gave me an authentic sticker that I could reapply this to, if I find one in good shape, I'm gonna get it, and I might sell this one to kind of offset the price. This did come with the paperwork though, and the price came out to be $180. And we just crossed the $3,000 mark, and we aren't even into the 80s yet. And for our last playset of the 70s, the Droid Factory, and I did buy 2 versions of this. The first one was released in 1979, and it had the Star Wars packaging. I did get this one complete, but it was missing one white peg. But my buddy Jason K, who I met over at the ICCC, he sent me one to complete my set, which was very, very cool of him. The Droid Factory that I got was in used condition, and you might hear me say that term, used condition. Aren't all of these in used condition? Well, no, some of them aren't. This one was opened and played with, and so that means that all of the original contents that would have been in baggies or cardboard have been ripped out and set up. That's what it means by used condition. It's just played with and used. But this did come with all the original paperwork, and I got it for $165 on the Imperial Commissary from one of Michael Haven's auctions. But the one that was released in 1980 and has the Empire Strikes Back packaging, That one I got in unused content condition, meaning that besides the open box, everything is still in the original baggies. They all have the seals on them and have not been broken. So it's in unused content state. And I love collecting those in that state because you get to see what all the packaging looked like back in the 80s and when it would have been under your tree. When you open it up, you just get to relive that. So I think I really love collecting those in that state for the historical value and for the preservation value. It's just really a treat for me. I really love collecting toys like that. I got this version for $1,250 on the Imperial Commissary from David S. And I'm gonna count the unused Empire Strikes Back version for my official tally. And right now we're at $4,260.81. And now we are officially in the 80s, starting with the Hoth Ice Planet Adventure set. Again, I got this set from Michael Havens on the Imperial Commissary Facebook group. And again, he gave me a very nice example in used condition. It was complete. And you can see that this is the second playset to use this design. The first being the Land of the Jawas, and I got this for an even $200. Next is Darth Vader's Star Destroyer that was released in 1980, and I got a beautiful example, again in unused content state, with all the original cardboard inserts, the paperwork, and a gorgeous box. And I got this from the Fine Collectors at the Collectors Alliance Facebook group for an even $1,000. And a playset that I was really looking forward to getting, and one that is sought after by collectors, is the Cloud City playset, which is made entirely of cardboard. So it's kind of funny why collectors really want this one. It's just very hard to get in complete and great condition. A very cheap looking set, and I wanted to get one in unused shape, and that's exactly what I did. And this playset came with 4 action figures, and I got them all in the original baggies. Their original boxes, the cardboard inserts, and the unused cardboard backdrop. And I had to get this on eBay, and I got it from a very good seller with a very good reputation who packaged this with the utmost of care, and I bought it for a grand total of $1,653.08. I went to my favorite toy convention of all time, ICCC in Nashville, and the first one I went to was in 2022. It's one of the best conventions that you can go to if you're a vintage Star Wars collector. I bought the turret and Probot playset released in 1980 from a buddy named Ryan L. And this is one that I may want to recollect and get one in unused content shape instead. But the one I did get came almost complete and in just an okay box, I think. It was missing stickers on the turret and the Probot droid, and I got this for an even $100. The Imperial Attack Base was released in 1980, and I went down to my local vintage toy shop called TC's Rockets to get this one, and it came in complete U-shape. All the parts were there and working, and in an okay box with all the paperwork, and I would love to get this one in unused shape one day. I got this playset for $80. And one of my favorites, released in 1981, the Yoda Action playset. I got this one on Instagram from the Toys We Remember channel, and I got it in used shape, but it came all with the cardboard inserts and the parts in working order, all of the paperwork, and in a gorgeous box, plus the swamp foam. The swamp foam was in perfect condition, and I got this for an even $300. Another playset to use the same design as the Land of the Jawas and the Hoth Ice Planet, it's the Rebel Command Center. It's the last one to use this design. And I had trouble finding this one, so I went to my last resort that was an eBay, and I found one in used shape, but it was very nice and complete. And I had to clean it up some, and I may want to recollect this in unused condition one day. And it came with all 3 action figures, but not in baggies, although it did come with the original figure box, and I bought this for $225. And now finally, we get to the Return of the Jedi playsets and the Ewok Village, released in 1983. And this is one of the biggest playsets from the Kenner Star Wars line, and it comes with so many parts. You should watch the video that I did on it. And again, I went to TC's Rockets in San Diego to get this, and I found one in box. It was in used content shape, but it had all the paperwork, and I would love to recollect this one in unused content one day. But the one that I bought it for $320. And we just crossed the $8,000 mark. In 1983, the Jabba the Hutt Dungeon Action playset was released, and that was a mouthful to say. And again, I visited the ICCC in 2023, and again, I bought it from Mr. Ryan L, and I got a gorgeous version of this with things in semi-unused condition. So the stickers, they have been applied, but the sticker sheet is there, and the figures are still in baggies, but the parts that they came with open baggies. All the paperwork was there, and I got this for $325. Next is one of my favorite playsets of all time, the Jabba the Hutt playset released in 1983. And I bought a loose version for my creature display, and I also have one for my childhood collection. But the one that I bought for this official playset run, I got in unused condition with everything still in baggies, the cardboard inserts, the paperwork, and a great looking box. And I got this from Jack O at the Vintage Alliance for $275. And the final playset on this list was released in 1984. It's the Jabba the Hutt Dungeon Action playset. I don't consider this a variant from the 1983 version because of the action figures. But I do have to mention that this was the base design that was first used in the Droid Factory. And I got the 1984 version of this playset in unused condition with all the unused stickers, the parts still sealed in baggies, and the figures still in baggies. And these are considered like the pre-releases of the Power of the Force figures. And I got all the paperwork in a great box, and I got this for a grand total of $1,356 from James C. at the Collectors Alliance. That brings our grand total tally to $10,094.89. And if you want to include the Star Wars Droid Factory, that brings it to $10,259.89. And if you want to take away the Palaty Death Star, just to make it all the Kenner, that makes it $8,509.89. But I'm going to put the official tally as $10,259.89. And for those of you who know the total for my loose action figure set run, add that with my playset run and give me the correct combined total, and I'll let you pick anything from my merch shop. But I'm only gonna open this to YouTube members and Patreon members. So if you aren't a member, the links to join are in the description of this video. You can join Patreon free for 7 days, and you can join YouTube for as low as 99 cents a month. And all of your generous support helps me keep making this content for you. So thank you for that. So with this video, that officially ends my playset run. And I had a blast on this one. And I want to thank all of you for making it fun for me and for helping me learn so much about these playsets. I'm gonna revisit these from time to time, but the official run is over. My next run is the Topps cards, my creature run, and my biggest one yet, the vehicles run. And I am gonna do the Ewoks and droids and the mini rigs, basically everything. But the Topps, the creature run, and the vehicles, those are the ones I'm doing next in order. And to watch my next episodes, click on the videos that are being suggested to you now. And as always, my friends, thank you, and I will see you next time.